Sunday, October 19th, 2025. I'm in Norwich, Connecticut. And I'm going to drive around. Right now I'm driving down Plain Hill Road, the Norwich Town section of Norwich. I have 2 videos I already did in Norwich, driving around, trying to capture the foliage, the fall colors. Today will be part 3 of that series. I don't think I've ever done foliage videos before, like before this year. Well, no, I did one last year, but it was up in, I think, Scotland or Brooklyn. I mean, Norwich is, you know, it doesn't, when you think foliage, you don't exactly think, oh yeah, let's go to Norwich and drive around and look at the foliage. I mean, it's not something that, by the way, Duncan coming soon. Former side of the Grange that was demolished to the right there. And I have videos covering the Grange from top to bottom. But anyways, I live in Norwich, so that's why I'm doing foliage coverage, focusing on Norwich. And you know something? I just had a thought here. I'm going to get on 395 and go over to the other part of town. I want to try to cover different locations, but you know, I could literally do the same locations as I did before, because this foliage is rapidly changing. But let me take a cruise over maybe West Thames Street, a little bit of New London Turnpike, down by Malurbis Farm, the golf course. Yeah, I mean, you can see the trees over there in the distance. They're starting to shed their leaves pretty significantly. And again, this, I've mentioned it before in the other videos, this isn't a great year for foliage and, you know, beautiful fall colors, because we had a couple of stretches of drought conditions that experts say that hampers the quality of the fall color and diminishes the foliage from a visual perspective. So I'm on 395 right now, south. And I'll get off the next exit. Cranberry Pond Road, that bridge we just went under, above that road is Cranberry Pond. I mean, it's cloudy today, but the sun is out. I expected more overcast conditions, which is better for viewing foliage, but it's not as overcast as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's not a problem. I mean, I'm going to drive around in these conditions, and that's fine. We'll take what we can get. But it is a Sunday, and the foliage is definitely waning. And for some reason we've hit a bit of a slow patch here. But the exit's right up ahead, so I'm not worried about it. Let's see here. Exit 11. If I took a right and kept going, I would hit Salem, Connecticut. Which I've covered before. I mean, if you can think of a town in eastern Connecticut, especially southeastern Connecticut, yeah, southeastern Connecticut, I pretty much got it covered driving around multiple times. I mean, I got a camera magnetically mounted to the hood of my car right now. And I'm just driving around recording video. There's not too many people that do that. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's anybody else in Norwich that I've ever seen do that, ever. Imagine that. In all of human history, I'm the only guy that's ever cruised around Norwich in a car recording video to see what things look like in the history of Norwich. I mean, I'm happy to be proven wrong. I would love to see other video of guys driving around with. When I say a camera attached, I have it attached to the exterior of my car. I'm not talking about some guy with holding up a cell phone for a couple of minutes, the windshield, handheld. There's probably a little bit of that here and there. We cut through. Let's go up Surrey Lane here. Salem Turnpike, now we're turning right onto Surrey Lane. I'll take a cruise around the perimeter of Surrey Lane. I don't know if... the sky's a little bit bright. What time is it? 1:55 p.m. You get Fairgrounds Circle back right here. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll just cruise around the perimeter. Norwich Golf Course is... let me get out Elk Drive. Take a right here. The Norwich Golf Course, it's an 18-hole golf course that's down. What is this? Hang on a minute. No, that's some guy's driveway. When I get to it, I'll point it out to you. But it runs parallel to this. This section, at least when I was growing up, was called Norton Village. If I take a right, it's a dead end, so I'm not going to do that. So this must be the outer perimeter of the Norton Village neighborhood. So I got my eyes open for the golf course. Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, it says dead end. Fairway Lane. That kind of makes sense. Fairway Lane. Yeah. There it is. Let me hone right in on this. There's the golf course. So, you get some foliage out there, but it's kind of in the distance. I don't see any golfers, but it's nicely mowed. And there's a brief look at the golf course. Yeah, I see a guy off in the distance in a golf cart. A couple of them. It's probably a decent day for golf. It's 66 degrees. Eventually you're going to run out of, nice days to go out and shoot around 18 holes on a Norwich golf course. That's coming to an end fairly rapidly. but I'll work my way out of the Norden Village. I think it's Norden rather than, some people say Norton. I think it's Norden. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think... Okay, we don't want to go down Village Court. That's a dead end. There's a lot of houses. All right, there's... To the right, there's a beautiful, perfect, orange-ish maple tree. Highlighting the foliage. Another one right there. Great Plain Road to the right. This is Great Plain Road. Actually, let me cruise around the camp. Okay, Norden. Okay, I'm on Norden Avenue. Nordon. So it's not Norton. It's Norden, which is what I originally thought. And I'm glad I was accurate on that. Let's take a cruise around the college campus here. Three Rivers Community College. I have on-the-ground comprehensive walk around. Whoa, looks like a security vehicle up there. That's not good. I gotta get out of here. The foliage looks real good up there too. Kind of a shame. I'd love to be able to grab that if I knew it wasn't a security vehicle. The only reason I'm hesitant, I'm not hesitant, I straight up don't want to go anywhere near security, is because I'm not just some random guy driving around, okay? I got this camera mounted on my car. When security sees somebody with a camera mounted on the center exterior hood of their car, the front of the car, it's very obvious, you can't miss it. Let me go up Melrose Park. Security gets very, how shall I put this? They notice it. Okay, they take note, part of their training and all this stuff. I'm pretty sure that never really came up in any of their training videos or classes where they learned about law enforcement and things of that nature. People driving around with cameras mounted on their cars. But it's exactly what I'm doing right now. So if they see me, they're going to pull me over. I mean, it's no big deal. It's not illegal. But it's just kind of a hassle. It's a time killer. And, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Depending on the guy that you get, the person, man, woman, whoever it is, the kind of mood they're in, whether they're like laid back and they say, oh, okay, no problem, go for it. Or different personality type, very strict, and they don't like it, and they give you a hard time. So, I'm trying to avoid that. It's happened to me before. That video's never aired, obviously, but... So that's Melrose Park back there. Some of the foliage. I think I'll take a cruise through... Man, I gotta watch it coming out of here. I'm trying to get on New London Turnpike. Some of these cars really fly. I'm gonna take a ride around. The Norwich Inn has condos up there. Little, condominiums that people live in, and I think that's a pretty... I would, just in my mind, I think it's a pretty foliage dense area, or a lot of trees, kind of a tightly compact location. Okay, we got some antique cars coming up on our left. Must be another antique show. Okay, I'm cruising right now. I'm splitting through the heart of the Norwich Golf Course. A lot of people golfing today, obviously. To the left, you can see some nice autumn colors. Fall. Let me take a look. Yeah, wow. Oof. I mean, it's kind of windy, but the golf course is rocking right now. I mean, it's packed. There's a swarm of ladies and gentlemen all over that Norwich golf course right now. As we cruise down the London Turnpike, nice foliage right there. So there's, beautiful colors. Speed limit's 25, I'm doing 31. Perfectly acceptable. So you see the colors left and right. That's kind of what I'm going for today. It's just, we're running out of time here. It's Sunday. I got a little time available for me to do these, one of these drives. So let's go for it. Another antique car up ahead. So I saw a bunch of antique cars yesterday, and I see some today. So that tells me there's something going on in the area, regarding a car show. There's a guy behind me. I think it's a old Chevy Chevelle. Looks like a 70. I don't know. He's got fuzzy dice, the whole shooting match. All right, this is tricky because there's no, let me see. I don't want to block anybody trying to turn. I'm not going to go through the casino. I mean, it's tempting, but I don't think there's a whole lot of foliage. Oh, no, that was a Chevy. Man, I don't know. SS, some Super Sport, whatever. I couldn't. Some of those models back then, I mean, they look very similar. As we wait for this red light. This is the dead end of New London Turnpike on this section. If I went right, that could still be New London Turnpike. I'm not sure. Uncasville is, if I took a right. All right, so we're out of here. More foliage directly ahead. I mean, that's the goal. Other bonus footage, whatever comes to mind. Whatever we happen to fall upon. But it is windy today. Breezy. It's kind of a consistent breeze from one direction to the other. We're on West Thames Street. So let me take a cruise through the Norwich and hopefully security, or I don't know if they have security driving around. I have no idea. But you see the wind to the left, those flags there, that's what we're dealing with right now. As we're enveloped in a kind of a little wooded area right here. So I'm going to take a left. The Norwich Inn and Spa, or this, as they call it now, the Spa at Norwich Inn. Maybe they altered the name a little bit. I don't know, but yeah, you can see a lot of the foliage. There's a good mix of, I don't know. I would say, just a wide variety of different trees, including pine trees. I mean, that's not a foliage-friendly tree, a pine, obviously, but they're in here. It's kind of a nice mixture of, nice variety. Speed limit's 10 miles an hour. I got to keep my eyes peeled. So there we go. This is a foliage, a visually attractive foliage location with massive, aggressive speed bumps. I mean, you're not going to be speeding if you're coming through these condominiums at Norwich. And look at that right in front of us. That's nice. That foliage, a little backlit coming, light coming through there. There's a little pond to my left with a fountain. I mean, picture perfect. small bridge. Like, this isn't the type of place. I mean, it would be nice if I could take a walk around on the ground with a camera and catch some of the visuals. But I mean, people live here. It's, you know, who's this guy with a camera recording me? I mean, it doesn't lend itself to, you know, walking around doing a video. It just doesn't feel right. But I get the car so I can cruise through. Way in the distance there, we were just driving on New London Turnpike there. You see the cars. That's the golf course. Now, if I played around a golf, I don't golf, but if I did, I would definitely attach a camera to the golf cart as I drove around the entire course and record what it's like to, you know, the visuals of the Norwich golf course. It's an 18-hole course, a legendary course. I believe it was designed by a very famous golfer many, many years ago, in the 20s maybe. If anybody knows the answer or history of the Norwich golf course, who designed it, let me know. But I heard it was somebody big time in the you know, golf world. You know, Bobby Jones. I have no idea, but it's somebody famous, I think, unless, you know, Norwich. This could be another Norwich, you know, folklore myth situation we're talking about here, but I don't think so. The Norwich Inn, a lot of famous people back in the old days used to stay there occasionally. Burl Ives was in there. I mean, in recent years, Joan Rivers was at the bar talking to a friend of mine. Had a beautiful conversation for a lengthy period of time. They struck up kind of I don't know about a friendship, but they really got along great. So this foliage situation in here, I think, is quite nice. Let me take a cruise down. Just trying to see. I'm, you know, canvassing the area. Yeah, right ahead there. Colors. Fall colors. My preference would be for a completely overcast day, but we do have a mix of clouds, so that's, you know, we're halfway there, you know what I mean? All right, I guess I could, yeah, let me cruise up there. I'll just hit the, you know, the actual Norwich Inn itself. I think I don't see security around. I mean, I'm not paranoid about security. It's just kind of a drag, you know what I mean? It's a real buzzkill. You're driving around, you get somebody pulls you over. Right there, the front door. I'm going to get up real close to it without being too strange about it. But right there, beautiful entryway. They're doing some work on the structure as we speak. There's some beautiful foliage right in there. I mean, look at that. Let me focus in on that a little bit. So obviously the grounds up here are very beautiful. This particular, I believe it's owned by, I don't know, the Mashanpequot Tribal Nation, maybe, I think. Is that, that seems to ring a bell. I'm not positive, but I think I'm pretty sure they purchased this property. All right, let's get back out onto West Thames Street. You know what I'd love to do is I'd love to take a drive around Uncas on the Thames, but I'm not going to do it. I did it once. If you're interested, I do have a video that I posted of a drive around there, and got a great reception. People were, you know, a lot of former employees, and it's got quite a history up there. It is on the left, Uncas on the Thames. You know what I'll do? I'll pull up. I'm not going to drive around the grounds. They have very strict security there. There's a mental health facility up there, but I'll just kind of Yeah, this signs. I can't. I'm tempted. I'm very tempted, but I don't want to. I really don't. I've done it before. If you want to see it, the grounds, it's available. It's available on my channel. You can take a look at it. And the foliage up on the grounds here is really nice, but security would nail me. It's almost a guarantee. Beautiful red leaves to my left. Orange, red. West Thames Street. I'm trying to think here. More foliage-friendly opportunities. There's different neighborhoods that could do that for us. But again, this is a city. It's a 35,000 people, or rough estimate of the amount of people. Nice colors to the right. 35,000 people live in this town. 36,000. Not up on the latest numbers, but it's a significant amount of people. So there's a lot of houses. Let's take a swing up Dunham Street. I'm just trying to think. If I can grab myself some more footage. Maybe I'll go up to... There's a decent view from the parking lot of St. Peter and Paul Church, I think. So let's take a cruise up there. But again, we're on Dunham Street right now. As a matter of fact, let me... No, I'm just, there's wooded areas around here. But there's also a lot of... residential properties. In other words, houses that people live in, basically. All right, straight up ahead. This is Elizabeth Street right now. Straight up ahead. Let me see if I can get into that parking lot. I may have to approach it from... All right, I can get in here. Sometimes it's chained off, this parking lot. Now, back when I was a kid, when more people went to church, obviously, than they do now. This parking lot right here on Sunday, you were lucky if you could find a parking space. Directly in front of us, St. Peter and Paul Church. Now, I thought I was going to be able to get a view of some foliage, but I see nothing but bushes to my left. It's blocking the view that I had in mind. Well, wait a minute. There's a statue here. Maybe we can see through this with some foliage. This will be a kind of a creative... Right there. There's some really nice tree color and that statue overlooking that field down there. I'm going to get back on Osgood Street here just for a second. Back up to Elizabeth Street. And this is going to be real tricky for me to get out of because I can't see around this vehicle to my left. But we made it. How about the former Elizabeth Street School right here? I got the wide lens on there, so we're grabbing. It's now apartments, real nice apartments, but you know, you might be watching this right now saying to yourself, wow, I went to that school when I was a kid. I know plenty of people that have gone there. When it was a school, I think it was built in 1920 or somewhere around 1920. And Rutchick had a candy store over here, and Mr. Rutchick. You gotta keep your eyes open when you drive, folks. You gotta really, really concentrate as we get on Elizabeth Street in Norwich, Connecticut. And this is a two-way street, so it's narrow, but so I turn left down here. The street is 100% blocked. Okay, they're pulling over. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'll go down Asylum Street. Grab some foliage opportunities down there. I mean, this video is obviously a mixed bag of different areas in Norwich, Connecticut, as well as some foliage. But, generally it's a foliage video because I'm driving around. There's trees in almost every single scene. So this is the state of affairs with regards to fall colors at this point in time, 2025, October. I mean, this is it. All right, we're on Asylum Street right now. And Asylum Street is going to be repaved at some point soon because there was I think it was a natural gas project that you can see the road in front of us right there has been dug up and repaved a little bit, but they'll do the whole road. So we might get some nice colors coming up on the right. Beautiful. So I'm slow cruising my way down Asylum Street right now. There's nobody behind me, so I don't have to worry about real aggressive drivers. And okay, the road work, or what I believe to be a natural gas line, we're beyond that point. And there's the dog park to the right-hand side there. It's a popular place. Asylum Street Pizza to the right. They have excellent food there. Western Avenue to my left. Decent amount of variety of fall colors right in front of us. I'm going to take a right over the Sherman Street Bridge. I have comprehensive coverage of the old bridge, the tear down of that bridge, and the construction of this bridge right here. This is one bridge. I'm over the river now, and there is a small bridge right here. I'm above it right now. Was on the bridge right back then. So there's two bridges. Excuse me. I leave everything in. Normally, people would edit out that cough, that clearing of the throat. But I like to do one take if possible. Let's take a ride down there in Uncas Leap Falls. Very narrow through here. Very, very narrow. Gotta be careful. I recently did a video where I was critical of the upkeep of Uncas Leap Falls area, which we're pointing at right now, and the overgrowth of just weeds and everything, just invasive plants. But between that video and now, or about a week ago, they took care of all that, I say aggressively growing plant. I don't know what these plants are, but I know they're not pleasing to look at, and there were obstructed views of the falls. The whole thing was completely bonkers. It made no sense to build everything and then have obstructed views as we grab foliage footage. But as we whip around this little road right here, but they took care of the problem. Was it a result of my video? I mean, I think I took about a half an hour portion of that video where I did nothing but complain, and I never do that. I mean, if you watch my videos, you're gonna know that I never complain about anything. I try to be extremely positive. Okay, straight ahead. You can't see it from here. It's off in the distance. They're making real progress with a brand new staircase up there. This is Yannick Street, I believe. Those are the condominiums at Falls Mill. Straight ahead there, but that staircase back there, I'm going to do a video when they're done with that. I have a video. I'm always touting my videos. I'm just, in case you're interested, okay? But I have a video where I did 3 staircases in Norwich, really huge, long, old staircases. As we cruise up Yannick Street, and to the left is that not to be missed, world-class Uncas Leap Falls Heritage Park, or, not sure the official name. I don't know if Heritage Park is in there. Should be. People love this that waterfall down there. It's incredible. It's I put it up there with anyone in Connecticut. Kent Falls is nice, but Kent Falls is a different style of waterfall. This thing is a big, wide, very aggressive after a decent rain. Okay, Yannick Street, I'm going to take a right onto Sachem. And I'm going to think about getting more fall colors. I mean, it is what it is. To the left, you have yellows and whatever, reds, all, dark green, different colors. This is just, I'm absorbing the reality. Okay, that's where the staircase, see that tape, that, caution tape, that yellow tape? That's the new staircase. So there's putting in brand new sidewalks right here. I walk those sidewalks many, many times every week. And I'm thrilled about that new sidewalk because that was in disrepair. All right, let me see if I can make this light. This thing, no, that's fine. I'm glad I didn't make it. We'll point this thing over the teal house, that white building with the... It has 4 fireplaces on each corner. Park Congregational Church steeple in the background. NFA is behind that. And we got a green light. This is a light that measures the amount of traffic going by, or it's you know, has cameras or, you know, visuals that kind of help with making the light a little bit faster. It's not just a timer, you know what I mean? So straight ahead, Slater Memorial Museum. You got Norwich Free Academy. One of the best. You know what? Not one of the best. The best high school in Connecticut. Period. There's plenty of people that'll challenge that, but walk around the campus, look at the architecture, the history, and the meticulous grounds, the flawless, every blade of grass, perfect in that place. All right, here we go. That was kind of off Chelsea Parade, but there's some really nice colors to the left right there, to the right. Again, the tree is shedding. I would have been happy to have the whole tree in perfect, you know, foliage mode, but again, this is the reality on the ground at this point in time. Wow, they could be painting that. They are. Oof. There's a house back there that it's really, I would consider it a mansion, and somebody's painting it, and it's, I'm going to swing back and try to hone in on that house just to catch it before it's painted. That house has needed a paint job for, I would say, a minimum 20, 30 years maybe, and it's getting done now. That's exciting. I'm gonna, you know what, let me get down, I'll just go down the length of Union Street, which we're on Union right now. Then I'll go up Broadway, but I want to head back. I want to get a glance at that, you know, just a glimpse, or maybe I can back in somewhere or point the camera at that mansion before it gets painted. I mean, I see some primer on it. We'll get a better look when I get up there. I'm not going to go through the city. I have so many videos of me go. Pretty much every video I do in Norwich, I drive through the city. It's, you know, I mean, I got that covered. I'll cover it more in the future. Got to be real careful. That little location right back there. So we're on Broadway now. There should be some nice colors up ahead to the right. Some beautiful trees. But again, they're shedding. You know, we're getting into the... It's not long, few weeks, and there's not going to be a single leaf on any tree in town. Although Norwich, you know, I tell you what, the end of November, some of the trees, there are certain species, I don't know, oak, whatever, that will hang on to the leaves for a long time. Now I got some guy right on my tail. Oof, Little Plain Park to the left. Absolutely beautiful little park. And I'm working my way back to that house I mentioned. Okay, there it is. It's going to be coming up on the right-hand side, but I'm trying to figure out a way to going to be hard for me to... It's right there directly in front of us. And they're starting to paint the part that's on Broadway. Let me get on Crescent, see if I can get a view. I just want to kind of capture a view of that house before it's painted. We can get some more beautiful colors down here. I mean, there's a driveway. I'm going to pull right into this driveway of this house. Turn around. Okay, so they're going to be painting, or they are painting, that right there. So let's stop for a second. This, to me personally, is a big deal. Because if they're painting the house, that means somebody's restoring it. And that house has needed restoration for, I'm going to just say decades and leave it at that. Beautiful colors on the left. I'm just going to say decades. So that's, if you live in Norwich and you're into that type of thing, you know, restoration or just the beautification of the city, that's an important, very important property back there. Okay? Big time. There's been attempts in the past at restoration that just kind of, you know, it started looking good, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of nowhere, there was like a, I don't know, 5-year gap. So whatever happened, you know, the previous owners, financial difficulties, I have no idea. But restoration just ceased. They started, you know, there was an attempt made, and then after 6 months or so, I'm going up Broad Street. Beautiful colors to the left. Former Broad Street School over there. I think it could be condos now. There's some incredible houses. That white one to the left, personal favorite. Maybe we can grab some nice fall colors up here. I got people right on my tail, so I'm going to shake them off. I'll just turn. I'm going to go up a different... The house on the left, it'll be directly in front of us momentarily. Right there is an incredible home. People behind me are just, you know, I don't know. Is there an emergency going on? I'm not really sure, but I mean, you know, when you're right on some guy's bumper like that, I just think it's absurd, personally. Super unsafe and not smart. Very cool house to the left. I mean, it's like something out of a storybook. Looks to be under some form of restoration as well. This is Warren Street. I'm going to take a left onto Platt. This is, I don't know if it's Avenue. Yeah, Platt Avenue. I did Foliage. I did Mohegan Park Foliage recently, like full coverage. So I'm not gonna redo that. Let's jump on Rockwell. There's some nice colors on Rockwell. I once walked up Rockwell and shot a video handheld. So this is a particularly beautiful area. There's a cottage, stone cottage to my left. You know what? Let me take a drive up Butternut Drive on my right-hand side. There's no outlet. This will be deep. This is another incredible street with, I mean, the properties on Butternut Drive are, I would say, the most unique in Norwich for this era, mid-century modern. The home up there on the right, I've been in that house. It's a one of a kind. I mean, it's so unique. Very beautiful home. I've been in a few of these houses. The one straight ahead, I was in that. That's an incredible house. And it looks like they painted it recently. I'm really cruising slow here. But that was an incredible... house. But yeah, mid-century modern. I'm going so slow. I just want to look over. Okay, so the people that bought the house that I mentioned back there, they re-sided some of the sections and they painted, so they're watering. So okay, they're into it big time. The house to the right there's a lot of multi-level flat roof homes, but for some reason, I don't know, I don't know the reason, but back in the probably, I would say, 50s, people with a significant amount of money to spend on, hiring an architect and building a home and building and designing a home did so on Butternut Drive. I mean, if anybody knows, I am under a total canopy of trees that left and right they meet above and they cross over, forming a tunnel. So this is a beautiful area right here. Butternut Drive is not a through street, it's a dead end. So it's not, the only people that travel the street are the folks that live up here or visit, or, obviously delivery people, mail delivery and UPS and FedEx and all that. The trees, I believe that's Mohegan Park property right there. I believe. I think if I just kind of went straight over the hill to the left there, I would be on the property, on the grounds of, the Mohegan Park area. But all the houses on Butternut Drive, man, I tell you, oof. They are just so unique, so interesting. One of a kind, architect took into consideration the people's needs and offered options, and they made the choices. But I mean, there's a virtual mansion to the left of me. That's a newer. And to the right of me, there's another. It's just incredible stuff. I'd love to be able to see inside all of these. There's another one right there. A lot of flat roofs. So that's back in the era where flat roofs were kind of in vogue. I don't know, for that style of, just financially, you had to have some serious money. I'm going to pull into this guy's driveway just to get a look at the house. It's wrong. It's not right of me. But just to see another, I mean, it's not illegal, but it's, it's, the only reason I'm doing it is to get you a look at another one of those kind of, flat roof homes. To the left, there's another very unique home. Somebody's doing work to it right now. But it's made of stone, flat roof. There's a garage with a conventional roof, but. And I'm looking at that other house that I was in one time. And the new owners really are doing it justice. There's another interesting home right there. Very unique. Again, multi-tiered. There's another one straight in front of you. You can only see the top of it right there. But that's another one of a kind. To the left, there is a slate roof on a garage with a Tudor style it almost looks like Gillette Castle. I mean, to the left. That's one of the more interesting homes in Norwich. I can't get the camera on it, unfortunately. But that Gillette Castle-esque home back there is easily one of the most interesting homes in the entire city of Norwich, in my opinion. I mean, others have their, favorites and styles that they like, but that back there, I wish I could. There's really no way, the way it's tucked into the hill. It's coming right out of a hill. There's another to the left, flat roofs for sale. I believe former Norwich legendary photographer, I believe her name was Elizabeth Elzen, Mrs. Elzen, I think it's Elizabeth. One of the greatest photographers, probably the greatest photographer in Norwich history, I would think. She did all the school photos, but she was a master craftsman or craftsperson. As I drive up McKinley Avenue Extension, which will then turn into Reynolds Road. So we're on Reynolds Road right now. But Mrs. Elzen, you know, she took all the school pictures for many, many decades. She did personal work. She did other work, portraiture, you know, fine art stuff. You know, again, when I say master photographer, I mean just legendary stuff. Okay, she was producing work as good as anybody in the country. As we look at the beautiful foliage on Reynolds Road. More unique homes up here. On the right, rec field, or, you know, Dickenman Field now. That stone building right there. That's another, I would consider that a landmark in Norwich, that stone structure right there. I'm going to point right at it. I'm going to go in the parking lot over here and point right at that. I've done it before, but I think it's important that I do it again. Because it just kind of dawned on me, yeah, that's a landmark. Let me see if I can get this angle of this thing right. There's a tree in the way, but it's okay. Right there, that stone building right there. It's not large, it's a small landmark, but it's a landmark all the same. Beautiful foliage in the background of Dickenman Field, left field at Dickenman Field. Home of the Wildcats, Norwich Free Academy. I got the road to myself. There's nobody behind me. To the right, I don't know if you can, it's way off there. That's the kind of colors I'm looking for right there. Real nice, real mixture. Reds, oranges, all different gradations and everything. Gradations. I'm not sure how that word is pronounced. I think it's gradations maybe. But anyways. And see right here, it's a little, the colors are a little duller, and then you go down a little bit further and to the left, you get a beautiful tree that comes out of nowhere. So, you know, you just don't know what you're going to get. It's a Sunday. Everybody's home watching TV right now with their feet up, relaxing. As I turn down, get off of Ox Hill Road, this is Ox Hill Lane as opposed to Ox Hill Road. You know, while I'm here, I'm going to just briefly glance and give everybody a glimpse of the WICH radio station. All right, straight ahead you can see it through the trees there. It says WICH/WCTY, WNL, and WKNL. Let me whip around here, get a better look at this. And there are the giant towers right there. There it is. Get as close as I can. Perfect lighting. I'm trying to look at the cameras. Get that building. So this is probably, I've done these before, but it's probably the best view I've ever had of that. The WICH radio station building. So there it is. There's the headquarters when you listen to the radio. It's coming out of that building and those giant antennas back there. Countryman Road. It's a nice road. It leads to Harland Road. And let me think here. It's 2:49. I think I got a decent amount of foliage. I mean, I can keep driving and driving and driving. I do have a bit of a time constraint. My videos, obviously my driving videos are extremely long. And this is a society now with TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, you know. If your brain is tuned to Instagram or TikTok, if I pump up a 2-hour video of me driving around, it takes a certain, type of headspace or style of thinking to get into the mode of watching something that extends, beyond a minute and a half of looking at a TikTok video of some, cat jumping off of a refrigerator into a big, fish bowl or something. I mean, the videos on TikTok, Instagram, all of these things now are addictive. I mean, they're made to be attention grabbers. We're living in the age of, it's an attention magnet. Whatever can get your attention. It's an attention economy. Whatever can get your attention and hold your attention. Now, if you're streaming through TikTok or Instagram and you're watching videos, that the algorithms will, point certain videos into your Instagram or TikTok feed or YouTube feed. As we drive down Harlan Road, I'm going to take a turn here. As the algorithms, after looking at your Google searches and all this, they know everything you do. When I say they, it's just, algorithms know your web surfing habits, your likes, your dislikes, and they tend to craft ads and advertisements, and they craft your Instagram feed, your TikTok feed, your YouTube feed to be something that you would like. So you're being bombarded, and then it's little thumbnails. There's like 6 or 7 of them on the right hand side as you're looking at one video on YouTube, and you're thinking, whoa, this other one's attractive. So it's a never-ending loop as we drive down Old Canterbury Turnpike. It's a never-ending loop in an attempt to grab your attention. That's the whole ball game. Attention. The attention economy. All right, let's see. I think if I take a left... Wow, that's a cool building. You know what? I'm just going to point the car. I hope I can pick up that really cool building right there. But I'm going to go left. There's nobody around. I'm not putting anybody in harm's way or anything. But the attention society, whether you like it or not, has got you in its grasp, most likely. You have to be very diligent and very, I don't know, present and focused on not being magnetically attracted and absorbed by algorithms pointing to things that they know you will like. That's just, it's very hard. You're competing against giant corporations with very, very brilliant people directing your attention to have you spend an hour and a half scrolling through an Instagram feed with video after video. You just can't pull yourself away. And you look at your watch and you're like, wait a minute. An hour and a half just disappeared. And if you think about the next day or a couple of days from that point, if you look back and you probably won't even remember a single video that you saw as we drive down Lawler Lane. We're going to drive over a bridge. I hope this green light, well, it doesn't matter if it turns red. But I'm going to be going over a bridge here that is being really fixed over from top to bottom. Let's take a look. I've been over this before, but this is kind of an upgrade right here from the last time I was on this bridge. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, they're working, They are working hard on that project back there. So this is still Lawler Lane. But I mean, everybody falls victim to this attention economy. It's you can read books about it, and they will give you advice on how to, keep an eye on things so you don't get, caught in these rabbit holes every day where you're just looking at your phone or your iPad or your computer. And the time just goes by without you even noticing. You're gone. They've captured your attention. And it's just over and over and over, one video right after the other. Very short videos. That's why these long, again, I do an hour and a half, 2 hours, an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 45 minutes. Significant length to these videos. If you're tuned in to these Instagram, TikTok feeds, and a lot of young people are, they really are. They were just raised on it. They don't know anything different. Then it becomes a little bit more difficult. Your attention is almost trained to be short as we drive down Scotland Road. Your attention is beautiful backlit yellow or orange tree to the left over there. Your attention is trained through repetition. The best way of training is repetition over and over and over again. That's how they get you. That's how they get young kids. Beautiful foliage on the left and right. at this Scotland Road location right here. I think there's a road. I mean, we're doing some foliage. We're not giving up on foliage. Yeah. Let me take a ride down here. I think this is called, let me see the name of this, Wales Road. Yeah. There should be some nice foliage down here. It's 2:58. It's almost 3 p.m. I gotta get moving. Beautiful on the right-hand side. But you're being trained. Instagram and TikTok are training young, from kids to adolescents and older, all ages. But if they get you when you're real young, it can mold you into having a short attention span, or you're used to that. You're used to getting your information very quickly. Things like reading books, that has really waned in the modern era, in the past several years. People reading books from cover to cover. Not as popular as it once was at all, not even close. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but according to a couple of these books that I've read, it is from this Instagram, TikTok effect of short bursts of, exciting videos and scrolling on and on and on. We're back on Scotland Road. As you scroll on and on and on, and it kind of trains the brain. I mean, don't take my word for it. Look it up. There's some geniuses out there. There's some insiders, Silicon Valley insiders. Tristan Harris is a person you want to look up. I don't know if he has a book out. I just look for a TED Talk or something. Tristan Harris on YouTube. Watch. He's got actually he did a documentary or a movie. He did a documentary style on the attention economy. I think it's on Netflix or, wherever, other networks, I'm sure, that focuses on that issue. And it's a devastating look at how people get trained, all ages. But if you're trained from a child to have bombarded with a couple of people on bicycles up ahead of me, if you're bombarded with TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all this stuff, but short bursts. YouTube, you can watch a 4-hour video and that's fine. I'm talking about the short bursts that train you. I'm going to rewatch that movie. I've seen it twice already. I'm going to rewatch it again just to help myself. It's helpful. It's beneficial. Beautiful colors on Scotland Road. I'm going to go down Case Street because this video is going to be over pretty soon as I work my way back to where I began the video on Plain Hill Road. I think I started this thing. So we'll go through a nice little stretch here. Foliage, fall and autumn colors. Wow, I just saw a couple of... That's odd. Back there's a couple of baby pigs. I missed a residential. Back there to my left, brown. They weren't pot-bellied. They were like brown baby pigs. Whatever. I did not expect to see that in a residential, K Street neighborhood. It's not a farm. It's a regular, colonial home or whatever, colonial style home. But, yeah, Tristan Harris. I think it's Harris. His first name is Tristan. You got to see this documentary. I'm reminding myself now I'm going to rewatch it as I drive down K Street. I'm going to rewatch it, and it's going to, you will be shocked. I think it's one of the most important documentaries or presentations, films made in the last 25 or 30 years or more, maybe 50 years. It's up there with, when I say important, I mean in a shocking, borderline terrifying way about what these companies are doing and what this stealing attention from us. Okay, beautiful colors on the left there. Stealing our attention. That's just a must-see. If you can, if I remember, I'll put in a link to it in the description, and maybe his TED Talk, or just look for any interview with him. I'll put something in this video about it. Just take a look down at the description. This is it, folks. We're coming towards the end of the video. We're driving down the beautiful Case Street right now. A lot of signs. Again, there's an election coming up in Norwich for mayor and city council, board of education, a whole bunch of different elections going on this coming November as we cruise down historic Case Street. I say historic, there's some very, very old homes down here. I'll show you one if I can. Well, it's kind of behind to the left, that white home right there. I don't see a date on it, but I know it's very early 1700s. So this is going to bring me to all the way. So we covered K Street from bumper to bumper. Okay, I got a green light. It's highly unusual. Get on to West Town Street. Wow. I mean, sometimes the luck is with you. I'll end this video where I started, which is Plain Hill Road. But I mean, I covered a decent amount of territory. It's 3:05 p.m. Another green light. To the left, former location of the Grange. I mentioned that earlier. Soon to be Duncan. So they replaced a historically significant, very important, legendary building. They knocked it down, erased it from the planet, and they're replacing it with a Duncan. I'll just let that kind of sit there for in the atmosphere for a minute while you think about that. There's some nice colors right there. So we began this video somewhere around here, and we're going to end it somewhere around here. Let me try to figure this thing out. All right. This video is over.